Okay, welcome back, party people. I'm never going to call you party people again, but I've said it now. I'm recording this on a Thursday evening, but I'm travelling on Friday and I won't be back until Monday, so unless I'm quick with the upload tonight or overnight or something, this probably won't be getting to you until Monday, but who cares, there's no regular. Like, this isn't a professional channel at all. Okay, so when last we left our hero, she was making her way across and had arrived at Novak with the very famous what's his face up there with the hat, Boone. Everyone knows that quest. Everyone says Boone's the best thing ever. I'm not going to do that right now. I feel like talking a bit. It's been a while since I played this. I had fallen into a habit of like meaning to getting around to doing it, but A, having more important stuff to do, but also B, I don't know, there's just something about actually committing time to doing something. Even when I have a completely free evening, I don't know whether this is a common thing or whether it's just me. It's not quite attention span, it's just, I don't know, the sense that if I commit to doing something for an hour or plus, that's an hour of the evening gone before, I have to go to bed. Whereas if I don't do anything, my brain thinks, you're not spending time doing anything, so therefore you can do it forever. It's the dumbest thing. I'm not even sure that's exactly what it is, but point being, I decided to just bite the bullet, as it were, and get back into it. And I feel like wandering a bit. I don't quite want to get on with that quest yet. Although actually it would be ideal to do it now, because of course he only does it during the night, but screw it. What do I actually have? Oh yeah, dynamite. Probably want to change that. Get out the old repeater, which has now become my... I'm still a explosives gal at heart, but this guy's handy. So yeah, my character... Whoa! Okay, there was no good way of doing that. My character is an African American woman. And it's not a question in the sense of something that you'd maybe ask. Why play a black woman as opposed to a white man or whatever? There's no real thinking behind it beyond, I don't know, I feel like there's a habit to always go with who you know, but especially when it doesn't matter in a game like this, there's no real difference to it. And I've always found it to be more rewarding, although again, it won't be rewarding necessarily in this game because nothing matters. But in other games, I've always historically found it more interesting to go with less obvious options. By not mattering, I mean, of course, that in this game, your race and gender never come into it. And that's not true. The gender comes into it in that you can flirt with people of the, opposite sex, Black Widow and all that. But I've been here before. I forgot how terrible the scope was on this thing. I know this place. It's got giant geckos or radioactive something or others. It'll get radioactive if I get near it. Yeah, there he is. Golden gecko, that was the ticket. Oh! Oops, I missed. Sweet. Oh! Oh, that was a weird reload. Oh, damn. I guess he runs away now. What a weird strategy they have. Okay. I didn't expect him to, you know, take that as well as he did. I just punched a dinosaur. So, I don't know if this is going to be of full use. I still have terrible weight management in this game. I need to rectify that. In fact, yeah, let's go back to town. But yeah, I was just thinking about, I don't know, when we play games like this, when you create a character for anything, there can be a habit to follow your own sort of instincts or play the most generic character, generic typically meaning white male. I don't know, it's always fascinated me how people make those choices, and I try to deliberately buck them. Like I say, it doesn't particularly matter in this game, and this is example, although the gender comes into it, wasn't the reason for it. I remember back in the day, my mates all played Super Smash Bros. It might have been Melee, it might have been Brawl, it was all of them on the Wii and various consoles, and they all owned it and they all played it, and when we all got together we all played it, but I was the only one who didn't own it. Never got around to it, never saw the appeal in owning it as a single player experience. I only ever played it with my mates, and they already had it. And so I was always invariably playing catch-up, because I was never quite as good at the game as them. And I initially played as Ganondorf, literally for the reason that he had that weird kick attack that would literally knock anyone back and kill them immediately, but it was so slow. It was like the Falcon Punch. In fact, I think they were copies of each other, Ganondorf and Falcon. Whatever, Captain Falcon, whatever his name is. Oh, let's go talk to this guy. And I'll resume my point in a moment.
Well, butter my butt and call me a biscuit if it ain't my old friend.
I don't think I actually talked to him in...
No, don't believe I did. You might ask around. You know back folk. Don't rightly know. Just got the notion to make my way to New Vegas. Reckon I'll find out when I get there. Seeing how this is the only road around, I'd be a sight more surprised if...
Anyway. So... In fact, you know what? I don't want to do the boon thing. I don't want to wait until night time and everything. I might come back later.
What can I do for you? That's not so bad. I'll have you looking as good as... Alright.
I don't know what was wrong with me, but...
Scalp.
Don't know what was wrong with me, but cool. What's wrong with her eyebrows? Oh no, those are her eyebrows. That's her skin. That's the weird
What
white.
can I do for you?
Can I say anything?
Yeah.
Okay, let's get rid of stuff I don't need. Let's buy the things I want first, and then let's I mean, those weigh a lot in their own right, actually. Anyway, let's oh no, that overdid it. How much more can I push for? No, I'm bad at maths. I couldn't. I was trying to do it in my head, but I obviously overshot. What else you got? I guess I'll take that back. 60, 70, yeah, something under 40, isn't it? That's what I need to sell. Well, I guess I'll just sell these for a start. So I'm not being particularly vocal at the moment, but let's just let's get this out of the way. I swear I set off last episode. It's been a while since I played. I swear I set off last episode to rid myself of all this stuff, so we weren't having to deal with the weight. But clearly, I've ended up with, you know, all of them besides. I don't know if there's a... Okay, so this is one of the things that comes with the DLC, and every, like, 20 minutes it tells me I take a trusty sip of my canteen or whatever. But what is that for? If I sell it, will I lose something? I mean, it's only a one way. I'll keep it just in case, but I'm not happy about keeping it because I don't know what it's for and it annoys me. No, she doesn't have the... She can't pay me back for that. Whatever.
Give me a shout if you need anything else.
Anyway, I'll come back to Novak later. I just can't be like, I'm bored. I've done this thing too many times. Like, oh yeah, you wear the hat and they use a sniper rifle. Woo. Anyway, that was my story. So there I was playing Brawl, and I was playing Ganondorf, and then one day I can't remember what it was. Maybe it was we did a match where we all got given random characters or whatever. But I started end up playing Peach. Hadn't occurred to me before. On some level, I reminded we were teenagers. But on some level, this leads to the rocket place. Oh yeah, let's do the rocket place. Why not? So on some level, some teenage, innate, maybe not even sexism. That's not me defending myself. Probably was sexist. But just the kind of thing of she's a girl and she's pink. And it wasn't even a conscious It was just my brain had told me that's not for you. You don't even consider that. Ended up playing her. She was amazing. I had great fun. Initially I was just using the sort of spam attacks that you learn very early on. But by the end I was sort of playing her really well. And that sort of taught me that it was always worth... Oh yeah, they just flat out ghouls. What's the best course? Aha, frag mine, because they run towards you, right? Cool. I won't waste them all. Sorted. I swear that I hit him, but I guess not. Ouch. Ow! God damn, he's fast. I may be in trouble here. This guy's not to be trifled with. What else do I have on me that might be more appropriate in this situation? That doesn't seem... DPS. This is apparently very good. Sure, why not? Damn! I didn't expect the reload to take that long. Let's recoup from that. Guess that's almost impact's gone. So I probably could have handled that smarter. I probably should have used the the mines on him. I'm no doubt that this gun will actually take out this guy easy enough. I didn't realise it was going to be that strong. I mean, I know they're strong. I'm not pretending I'm an ignorance to this game. But, you know, nonetheless. Anyway, I'm not even going to bother looting these guys. They always have like a couple of coins on them, maybe something. I can't be bothered. Anyway, yeah, the moral of that story, is such as it was I learned that Peach was really fun to play. I'm not saying like she's better than anyone else. I just really enjoyed her, and it made me realise that I should always strive to. I was always rewarded, or at least entertained, by striving to go for non-obvious choices in games, and that plus, you know, as you become an adult, more aware of like natural biases and all those sorts of things. Whites of their eyes. Oh god, he sidestepped me. There was me acting all John Wayne. Something Pilgrim. Yeah, so this is where that glowing people who want to build a rocket that flies off into the whatever and it blows up inevitably. Oh, and super mutants, I guess. Oh, the invisible super mutants. This might be a bit beyond me. Yeah. Honestly easy to just grab the stuff I don't want. Always. Whatever. Sure. Yeah, no, I'm good. Sure. Grenades, yes please. That's put us in pretty good stead. I think I got some empty syringes there. I didn't particularly pay attention. Okay. I'm going to get out the old mercenary rifle. I don't have that many for it, but I feel like if I'm going to use it on anyone, I should use it on the giant 8-foot tall Hulk wannabes. Who must thereby lurk in this area. Anyway, yeah, it made me think about choices in games and just in life, like, you know, thinking outside the box, going for things which aren't as obvious. Okay, I guess the Nightcrawler, whatever they're called, Nightkin, aren't around here just yet, because otherwise that fella would have run afoul of them. I count 2. That one might be a glowing one. No, it's just green. 3. There's 3 at least. 4. Come on, bring it. Oh, he's a tough one. Okay. Well, now he's a bit too close for a frag mine. I thought he was just a regular one. Maybe he was. Oh no, he's different from that guy, isn't he? I need to... Oh, I thought that was going to open vats. It didn't. How do I run? I know there's a way to run in this game. I mean, that's one way of doing it, I suppose. Oh, he's a roamer? Okay, so they're not related to the colour of their skin or anything. Trying to... Oh god, what was his actual name? Bubsy? Dynamo? I genuinely can't remember his name. I promise to remember him. Well, he'll live on in any case through my fists. Come on. We all know what we're waiting for. Like he owes me money. Okay, I shouldn't be enjoying this as much as I am, but his head moves. I'm waiting for his head to pop off, but I don't think we're going to get it. Nah, okay, we'll have to... No, you have to crouch. Oh well. But yeah, ever since that, and then with my growing awareness of social issues and everything as I've gotten older, I've always been quite mindful to use whatever opportunities afforded me to, you know, break out my shell a little bit. And this game doesn't really afford that. There's no real... Like, sure, you can toy around with morality, like, oh, shall I play a bad person? But it doesn't really work like that. That hardly ever matters. That's not really how... You know, you're not truly experiencing the moral conundrum of being a bad person. You're indulging. It's a I can't think of the word, but are we dealing with more ghouls? What's up there? Okay. And then that guy is a tough one, so he can get the old mine experience. Come on, big fella. Gonna save on bullets. I think he got a hit off me, but I don't really care. There you go, you learn from your mistakes. But yeah. I think role-playing games, as the name suggests, really gives people an opportunity to live outside their own experiences. And since it's all sort of self-created, like, ultimately, you're, it's all in your head, so you can make it as real as you want to. You can engage with that subject matter as much as you want to, but it's one of the few playgrounds to actually, that fucking Vault 13, to really like engage with that kind of stuff. And Fallout, I wouldn't say does that so much. You explore other people's moralities. You're a vessel. Mm-hmm. just... Oh, actually, that's... What type is he? He's just a regular. Okay, I am wasting no good ammo on this guy. Too many doors. %78% chance. Sure. Oh no! Oh heck, there's two of them. I genuinely didn't see that. These guys move janky, it's really hard to aim at them. I'm just very paranoid about running into one of them night do-whatsits. Sure, I'll do that next. God damn, I thought I'd reloaded. Oof. What the hell did he get that glitch? I don't... Okay, I'm not going to call that glitching, but that was like weird movement. Also, I feel like I keep moving weirdly. Whites to their eyes, like I keep saying. Okay, so apparently there's more around. Ooh, goody. Oh, okay. Level 7 already, really? Right. So, speech is at a good place right now. If I want more, I have to get to like 75. Explosives. Let's get him up to 50 at the very least. Lockpicks, where it's at. Medicine. I'm doing a fair bit of repairing. Excuse me, I think I'll whack the microphone. I'll carry on with medicine. Get that up to a good number. And is anyone one off a nice round number? Not really. Explosives it is then. Oh, there you are. The hell, I shot him square in... Oh my god. He just took those two shots there, didn't even... I thought... Is there such a thing as armor in this game? I mean, I know there's obvious armor, but I mean like armor where literally you don't actually hurt their HP. I thought it was all HP. Ooh, excited, I don't care. These things are just too tedious. I... Like, just flat out no. I'm just not. Oh, what now? Whoa! Game did not like me trying to go up that ramp. Oh, that sounds like a lot of them. Which means it's time for... Oh god, it did not like me going down that... Okay. I tried to run along the upper floor, but I guess the hitbox for the collision detection for the surface of the ramp versus the plane of the floor, the surface, wasn't quite where I thought it was, and I ended up just falling down the ramp again onto 2 ghouls and the dynamite I just threw. So that was a barrel of fun. Anyway, I think I broadly achieved what I wanted to do there. Whoops. I think I broadly achieved what I wanted to do there, so I'm happy with that. Someone should just spend like a playthrough of this game just collecting every like pencil or some really random object like that. I wonder how many there are in the game, like thousands? How do you measure? Is there a way of telling it to spit out every existing, you know, thing in the game? I guess I got them all? I don't know. I mean, my plan worked. I just fell into it. Where's he at? Well, that's one sort of surprise attack. My radar briefly warned me that there was a... Okay. How am I doing? Cool. Let's just get me some aid. Sure. Lovely. And I'm down to a single dynamite. Fortunately, I think I'm down to a single enemy. Or at least, not too many. I think I missed both. Damn. They swing like... Credits where it's due. I can't... These guys give me the most trouble of anything so far. And it's their speed, and it's the fact that when they attack, they don't go like... You know, you don't follow their head like if that was their head. They don't go forward to you like, whoa. They kind of go, whoa, like that. And you can't, especially with like guns like this, which is, to be fair, not inaccurate. You know, time and time again, experiments and demonstrations have proved that, actually there was that door downstairs, wasn't there, that there's lots of spooky things. No, that's where the baddies are. I'm going to get sent down there in a minute. I remember this quest now. But yeah, time and time again, experimentation has proved that a guy with a knife can close in on a guy with a gun way quicker than the guy can shoot him. So, especially with a long thing like this, like there is such a thing as reach. Like a guy with a spear beats a guy with a sword 9 times out of 10, unless the guy with the sword gets in under his sharp bit, because then you're just some gump holding a broom.
Get upstairs and talk to Jason before I throw up just from looking at you.
So, ghouls are people who were irradiated and I think it's implied that most of them were, if not all of them, by definition, were irradiated and magically survived at the point of contact when the bombs fell, so they are all essentially immortal. And in fact, their only aging process is they slowly deteriorate and become feral ghouls. And I guess it's down to survivability or just like genetics or whatever that someone's rate of feralness varies from person to person. Otherwise, they'd all be feral by this point, or none of them would be. But clearly, there's some kind of variance. So that said, they've obviously become stigmatized, and if they've been alive as long as they have and been around as long as they have, they've formed their own culture, their own identity, and they see themselves as a separate being, and they call themselves, you know, well, they call themselves ghouls, but they call you smooth skin in comparison. They talk that way, I assume, because their voices, our throats, are all messed up from the radiation or whatever, and they have forced themselves, they've kind of created this communal bond because they're all united in that they are equally lumped into and discriminated against by non-ghoul people for being these zombie freaks. So all that said, I don't get how this guy, ignoring the fact that he's clearly a human, he's got like a brain thing going on, the fact that this guy talks exactly like the ghouls, and with the ghouls, it's not so much an accent or like that whole phenomenon of how gay people in the Anglophile, that is the Anglophilic, the English-speaking world, not all gay people, but there's a community of gay people, a genre, if you will, of people who will speak with a sort of like camp accent, and it's a question as to whether or not they do, because there are some straight men who speak with that accent, and maybe it's like just endemic to the area they're from or something, but there is a definite phenomenon of what people call the gay voice, and there's this whole thing of like, it's a sort of sympathetic sociolect, that is to say, you begin consciously picking up the sort of mannerisms, the affected mannerisms of those within your creed to indicate to each other that you are one group, and also subtly advertise without saying, hello, I'm gay, and sort of stuff to other people through subtle giveaways, especially in a persecuted group. But I don't think that's the case with the ghouls. They seem to be talking that way because they literally just, their voices are messed up. So the fact that this guy has adopted that voice is strange. Like, I don't know whether it would, I mean, I get it, it's meant to sort of like, because over the intercom you first hear him with a voice, but I don't know whether it would have been more interesting to have this guy speak to you like normal, but use ghoul sociolect, calling you a smooth skin and all that kind of stuff. Because his voice should be normal. He shouldn't be consciously putting on that voice. He should just think his voice is his voice. If he believes he looks like a ghoul, maybe he believes he sounds like a ghoul. Why is he putting one on? He's not consciously putting on, of course. He doesn't know he's doing it fake. But his brain has made him adopt a voice which his throat is not required to do by virtue of being ravaged by irradiation. Secondly, calling me ugly. So, again, I don't know whether this is explored deeper in smooth skin kind of, you know, versus ghoul culture. They were all human at one point, and if we accept the idea that they were all immortal and were around and were at some point, you know, physically smooth-skinned themselves, I guess the fact that they've since created this identity, they've become this new kind of ethnicity or species, they have retroactively assigned the monkier and characteristics of smooth-skinnedness as a negative, like other. So they now interpret that as ugly? So do they interpret their old lives as them being ugly, or do they think of that as being different? Do they not identify with that person, the person pre-war? There's a lot packed into that sentence that hints at either really good or not quite coherent world building, and I'm not sure which. But anyway, we've looked at this guy's ugly mug long enough, so...
The Great One can be found upstairs. Don't think about wasting his time. He's very important. You should feel lucky to be granted some of his time.
So what the ghouls and the voice actors doing the ghouls in this game are doing with their voice is they're sort of speaking that sort of like gravelly sort of thing like that. That is actually, just this is a random fact I happen to know, that is actually a form of overtone. So the human voice produces tones, like I'm talking now, you're hearing ah, e, o, u, but you can also produce what we call overtones, or undertones, but the general term is overtone, which is another sound on another frequency happening at the same time. You're effectively making two noises with your mouth. And there are two main ways of doing this. I realise that the footage you're watching right now is me wandering incoherently, which works a lot better when I'm outdoors, but not so much here. There's two main ways of doing that. There's producing a tone which is higher than the voice. I won't give you a demonstration, that would be incredibly obnoxious, but you basically create a sort of whistling tone. If you ever Google any kind of Mongolian throat singing or Tuvan throat singing, you will hear this version as well. It's the one that sounds like they're whistling whilst also making a kind of rrr kind of noise. The second way of doing it is producing a tone which is under your voice. You activate the false vocal cords. So you've got the vocal cords, and then below them, deeper in the, I don't know whether I want to use the term diaphragm, but deeper in the air tract, there is sort of these false vocal cords, these flaps of muscle or flesh or whatever, which you can artificially vibrate to create a lower tone than your voice. Your voice is still talking like this. I've not lowered my voice, but now when I do this, I'm still talking at the same kind of thing, but you hear that underneath, and that is the undertone. It's not called officially an undertone, it is called an overtone, but I think of it as an undertone because, oh, there he is.
Hello, Wanderer. Please forgive us our humble surroundings. Our true home awaits us in the far beyond.
So
Come to help us complete the great journey.
So this guy, they give him his own voice and everything to make him seem all Christ-like and sort of clean and simple and humble, and also ethereal and from the great beyond sort of thing. But it kind of undermines the whole thing of he's supposed to have this gravelly voice because his throat is literally irradiated. But with him, it seems like he's become part, whatever this glowing is meant to be, radiation. Like he's become partly nuclear material in himself, and he's become this non-human substance. Like it's not even clear if he's flesh and bone anymore. So I'm fine with that. But
You're referring to Chris. I doubt you had much luck if you tried telling. We had the same discussions when you first appeared. Soon enough we realized that Chris was a gift from the Creator. I am Jason Bright, the prophet of the great.
see, did he give himself that name? Because that is...
The ghouls you see here are members of an auspicious name, don't you think? It was mine before I became as I am now. Before the great warrior. Truly does the Creator offer a destiny for each and every one of us.
Yeah, but the script writer in the game gave you that name, and that's just unforgivable. Also, I'm noticing you've got a weird hairline despite having no hair. Yada yada.
The demons appeared from... The demons are invisible. Where one of them stayed, they set upon us. My flock. The rest of us retreated up here. Still, they're... But now you have come. Yes, over the intercom. It went on for hours, and did not... Will you drive away?
Sure, whatever. Oh, I wouldn't have been able to go down that door anyway. Anyway, yeah, so overtone singing, and I apologise for me making that horrible noise earlier, just as by way of demonstration. That is a form of overtone singing. Again, I personally refer to it as an undertone, because what you're essentially doing is you are producing the higher of the two tones of your normal speaking voice and making a lower gravelly noise. This is one of the main things that Mongol throat singing does, but also Louis Armstrong. The whole, I see trees, that's what he did. He would speak with this sort of... Now granted, actually he talked like that when he talked as well. So for some people it is just a natural... It's not like a lisp, it's not a speech defect. Defect? How do you pronounce that word? Defect? It's not a speech defect, or whatever the word is. It's not a speech defect as such, because again, there's nothing wrong with it. But it's possible he was doing it unconsciously. It's just part of his speaking voice, and that's what accounted for his, his infamous and easily, recognizable tone. Anyway, that was just my little sojourn into the world of ghoul voice acting. It's really tough on the throat if you do it wrong. Like so many complicated or just strenuous voice exercises, if you do it wrong, you'll screw up your throat. It should not hurt. It shouldn't, although it sounds painful, and that's the reason I believe they chose to do it with the ghouls. It sounds like you've got a bad throat, and it is indeed the kind of noise you make when you have a bad throat. It shouldn't hurt. I only do it for very short periods of time whenever I attempt it, because it will begin to hurt, and I shouldn't push my voice beyond that. Quite famously, she wasn't throat singing, although that would have been an amazing movie, in the Hills Are Alive, what's it called? Sound of Music. Julie Andrews sang, although she sang beautifully, she sang improperly. She didn't use correct technique, and as a result, I believe she developed a callus or something on her throat, on her vocal cords, because she did a voice in from all this like vibrato and all the things she did. Anyway, I'm probably going to die doing this because I don't really have the tools spec'd up to take these guys out. But I will break out. I'll break out this guy for a start, just in case they appear around a corner and I'm not ready. You probably can't hear it, but I can hear footsteps. What the hell just... It told me I could push something there, I don't know what I did. Oh, bed. Will that go off because I've... Yeah, you see me. It didn't even go off. Typical. Whoa. See, I never really aim for anything other than the head, but maybe I should start doing that. Especially if he's got this big old thing, he shouldn't really... That didn't work. Ow. He better set that off. No, of course he wouldn't. That would just be too convenient, wouldn't it? Oh, you know what this means. You know what this means if he's this low. Gotta do it for, still can't remember his name. Gotta do it for Dude Face. That's what you get. Anyway, that's not going to work again because I'm out of shotgun shells. Good. Okay, how close is he to the... I can't remember the range on this thing particularly well. That is a doorway. I don't like the fact that that's a doorway. that's just... It's just easier for me if I can control... Okay, so it's just me in here at the moment. I don't know where he is. And again, I feel like my own... Okay. Okay, let's be, Does that work in this game? Oh my god, I'm so low on ammo in this thing. I shouldn't have done that. I mean, it's not going to make a difference against... Difference? A dent or a difference against these guys. So... If I approach my own mind, does it... No? Oh, I swear my own mind's set off. Whoa! Christ alive! Is that my own leg got crippled by that? God, the range on this... Yeah, okay. The range on this thing is insane. Yeah, absolutely not gonna happen. That was a winning combination. So, where was I? If they have to open a door so I can hear them coming, then at least, you know, that's something. Just gotta make sure there's no one coming in behind me. I believe this is the door I... Okay, so we're good. Someone could come up there, but that's such far away, I don't need to really worry about that. Do I? Wait, that's one corridor. This is a whole other... Okay, yeah, there's one in there. I think there's one you can talk to. I think that may have been him, because I think he saw me. But anyway, let's... Oh god, what now? Oh no! That works in a sense. That didn't seem to do anything. Did I hit my own... God, these explosions on these things are ridiculous. Oops, he ducked. Oh god. Thank god for that. Well, now I'm out of ammo. Oh, I've got 2 left apparently. I don't quite know how that works, but... Okay, now I've got to think of a new way to deal with all this. And also I've crippled my arm again. I mean, what are this? That's DPS 39, that's DPS 43, sure. It's not really my jam, but... There's one. Frag mine. Come on! Okay, yeah, move me to the side, that's cool. and oh, I should have punched him, but whatever. Okay, well I'm rapidly using up all my supplies and skill. Would Stealth Boy even work on these guys? I feel like the paint gun should work as an actual gun, not to like hurt them, like as a novelty weapon. Anyway, I think that's all of it. I get the feeling, because I know you're meant to talk to a guy and he's down that, he must be down this other corridor. But therefore, is it not the case that actually you could have bypassed all of that? So he must be down... Yes, there's another guy up there and he'll say, can you go deal with him?
What's that, Adler? We have a visitor. An assassin, more like. I say kill it, Adler. For safe's sake. Hmm? Okay, Adler. I'll ask. Hi, human. Why you come here?
Who do I know that talks like that? Not literally like that, but someone I know does an impression that sounds a lot like that. Anyway,
A human who is friend to ghouls? Suspicious. You meet the ones upstairs. Adler used intercom. Told them stay put. But they want to come down in basement anyway.
I think I figured out who it was that I was thinking of.
Not right
I won't say.
like I am. They attack you on sight. Ghouls too. They crazy. The ghoul friends have to wait until you find what Adler brought us to get. Good. Adler brought us here for a reason. Why was that, Adler? Right. A piece of paper. Shipment invoice. Hundreds of stealth boys sent here a long time ago. But stealth boys must be in the one room. One we don't search yet. The one we can't search. A ghoul, but not squishy like others.
I remember this guy. I liked him, but you can't do anything with him.
Thought Adler said, send my kin into that room, but 3 died. Ghoul is a crack shot and set traps too. After I realized I heard Adler wrong, so I locked the door to keep kin out and wait for Adler to tell me what to do. Then you come along.
Who is Antler?
Who is that? Adler. The human asks about you. Oh. Who Adler is not important to you. Adler wants that you deal with me. Told you all.
So I have to get all the way through this thing. Whatever. So, gotta go in there and deal with that guy. I wonder what that guy thinks about the fact that I killed all his mates.
Come and get it, you big dumb. Hey, you're not one of those things out there. Who the hell are you? And I bet he told you it's the Creator's will for you to risk your ass instead of him, right? Well, good luck with that. I give you...
Yes, he says I may look like a corpse. So, again, this could be like there's like a self-depreciation within the culture, but there seems to be a general trend that ghouls don't think they look normal. They readily admit they are a ravaged version of what they call smooth skins. Smooth skin is a derivation, point of derision, not because they think it's a lowly characteristic, but because it's the characteristic that unites all the people who they hate, because those people treat them like crap, because they look like crap. So it seems like what's-his-face, who believes himself to be a ghoul who isn't, has adopted the voice, and he's also got an extremely adverse reaction to what he is. He's clearly got some kind of like, I hate who I am, so he's invented this idea that he isn't what he is, and he's reacted to it with a sort of kind of in line with the general group's feeling towards Smoothskins, but he's got it extremified because it's actually him projecting his own hatred. I meant for this to be a world building thing about the internal consistencies of ghoul culture, but it actually ended up into a bit of psychology there, which I am not equipped for. So anyway, how did he end up trapped down here? You know, go to the running rope.
Guess the outfit gives that away, huh? Gets lonely up the wastes, okay? I don't have to.
Sounds like a Clint Eastwood impersonation.
It's got some fine-looking goulettes in it. Or maybe I would have to tell you. Anyway, I helped them out. Huh. Well, you're polite. I'll give you that. I had a friend with me when those mutant bastards came out of nowhere. She panicked and ran the wrong direction. Further into the basement. She's probably dead. But I ain't leaving until I know for sure. I'd have gone look. You, on the other hand. Thanks.
I mean, where is she? Where's she supposed to be? Oh, thank God for the big ol', arrow telling me exactly where to go. Deeper into the basement. I mean, I would have interpreted that as further down there, because this is like closer towards the entrance of the basement, but what do I know? Okay. Have I been down here? Is there another guy down here? I'm boned if there's another guy down here. I don't even use the word boned in real life. I don't know why I said that. There's going to be a guy in here, I just know it. I can even hear him. I think he's literally around this corner. There we go, problem solved, and turned into bits. Didn't even get to fire off his doozy what's it. There's doors on the other side here. What was this room originally for here? I guess it's some kind of generator room, or I don't know, waste depot. God, this place is vast. Oh, I know where we are. This is the, is it? No, it's not. Maybe it is. The place where, like, they get to push the button to send them all off into space. Something to do with this, I'm sure. Anyway, that's not important right now. What's important is, how do I get down there? Oh, that door, that there, right. That's where that led. Those stairs. Funny that. I don't know, I mean, people criticise Skyrim for having very samey dungeons, and they are entirely correct, but I've lost count of the number of corridors I've seen that looks like that. Like this scene here, the corner with stairs and cables, I must have seen this still image like that. I must have seen that more times than anything else in like any RPG. So if I remember rightly, I believe she is dead. I don't remember there being another person in this hole. Yeah. I don't know, would have been more interested if she was alive, but I guess it's one of those things they could have cut. Like... Oh, I just got it. So earlier when I said you could have just bypassed all this shit, even if you'd done so, this guy forces you to go back through it. I mean... I don't know where I sit on that, because... On the one hand, I get it, you create content, you want players to experience that content, but on the other hand, the individual ways people choose to interact with stuff should lead to decisions being made that lead to different outcomes. Like, sure, the only difference that's happened here is I went one way once, the first time round. I ended up killing all the guys, and then later being told I need to kill all the guys. You know, the order in which I'm told and do is flipped. But that's really it, that's the only difference. Oh god, which way am I going? Beyond that, everyone inevitably has to come down here. Everyone inevitably has to pick their way through all these rooms. Everyone inevitably has to talk to the guy with the antler, the guy up there, kill the jailer, get the key. There's no way not to do that. Which further confuses the whole narrative of this little mini quest, because why, like, we talked to that one Nightkin who doesn't initially attack us, but there is no opportunity to do that with the rest of the Nightkin. They attack you on sight. And even though basically the only way this quest plays out, apart from physically killing Antler Dude, is by doing what he says and helping out and talking to Harland up there and going and do the thing. Regardless of the helping him and not killing him in that moment, you've still butchered everyone he knows. So surely A, he'd be mad at you, and B, like, what's the point of being friendly? You're not even friendly. What's the point of being cordial with him? I don't mean in terms of like, oh, what would your character do? I mean, why is that an option in the narrative? It doesn't add in it. Like, there's no non-violent way to deal with the. Maybe there was. Maybe I should have talked to the Antler Dude. Maybe there was. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm going to Google this afterwards. Maybe if you talk to Harland and then go back and talk to Antler, he'll say, oh, he just wants to see his lady friend. Sure, go tell the but then that would require the jailer being talkable too. I don't know. So I'm guessing it doesn't play out that way, but maybe you can. But then you go tell him, oh yeah, she's dead. Maybe she's alive if you do it that way. Maybe she dies, but then that's sort of a Schrodinger's cat sort of thing. I don't know. Point is, I feel like there's a lot more interesting they could have done with this. But I don't know if I like the fact that they force you to experience all the content. On the one hand, experiencing content is why you buy and play this game. But surely the narrative that evolves and the story you tell to your friends should be different. Like, surely some of the greatest games are the ones that you've played. And this isn't true of all games. There are games where you just play them and they're just a story and you experience that story and that's grand. But surely the best content from this kind of game is the sort of thing where the story you make is unique to you. You say to your friends, oh yeah, well I turned left when I first came to that dungeon and I talked to that Nightkin who's friendly, and yeah, it turns out if you talk to him first, he actually makes all the other Nightkin in the area not attack you, so it doesn't become like it becomes like a social thing rather than a combat dungeon. Oh really? Because I went the other way and I ended up having to kill all these guys, and then I found him and he was still cool with me. Well, maybe in this hypothetical where decisions do change, he'd be like, he wasn't cool with me. I didn't even realise you could talk to him because he was all mad. Well, I suppose he would be because you killed all his mates. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, so I went down and I talked to him, and then I spoke to the ghoul up there with the sniper, and he told me to go find his girlfriend, and yeah, I had to go kill my way through all of them. Oh, well, that's interesting because I talked to him, and he said to go find the girlfriend. I spoke to Antler, and Antler let me through to the jailer, and the jailer let me in, and maybe she was still dead, and she was dead. And so I told him, and he went 3, or maybe depending on the language you use, maybe depending on what speech checks you make when you break the news to him that his girlfriend's dead, he decides to shoot his way out, and you can choose to side with him. At that point, you betray the up till this point friendly Nightkin, because in the violent solution, all the Nightkin are dead by this point anyway, so it doesn't make a difference. But in the non-violent solution, you've managed to navigate this dungeon peacefully, and then it comes down to the end. You have not made friends, but you have done good by, and you have in turn been faithfully not hurt by these Nightkin. I'm aware again I'm staring at a wall, but bear with me here. So these Nightkin will say to you, "Oh yeah, well you were fair in your transaction with us. You're going to get rid of this ghoul. We've been fair to you, been kind. We haven't killed you. We've let you go, and we've taken you down to our jail in good faith and shown you that unfortunately she did die." And then he's saying, "Right, screw it, I'm going to kill them all." And at this point, you could side with him because he's not really in the wrong at all. These guys are big, nasty orcs, and he's a dude whose girlfriend died, and he's trapped down here in a siege standoff. Excuse me. So he wants to shoot his way out. He's not the bad guy here. These guys probably deserve to die. Maybe not because of their actions here, but just in principle, in general. But you have done... You've been respected by these Nightkin, and you have in turn respected them. You have had a good deal with them. And you'd essentially be betraying their trust. I mean, it wouldn't matter, no one would know, but it's like a personal thing. Do you then turn on Harland and say, "I can't let you do that"? And he goes, "What? You're siding with the Nightkin? I'll kill you." Or you just like coldly execute him when he turns his back on you. You're like, "I'm afraid I can't do that, Harland." Bang! And you kill him. You've done everything right by the Nightkin. You've done everything good by them, and you've killed Harland, who was never in the wrong. And you feel like shit. Actually, I did maybe I did the wrong thing there. But you killed the least number of sentient beings, and you were the most peaceful, and that was all the kind of diplomatic stuff. Versus you butcher everyone and talk to Harland and let him go, or you are friendly to everyone, talk to Harland wants to shoot his way out of there, you join forces with him and you kill everyone. And that's possibly the scummiest one, because that's like the full breadth of all the content. You do all the talking and everything, but you also do all the killing. Anyway.
Did you find my friend? I see. Well, spare me the details. Damn it. I'm gonna miss that crooked yellow smile. Alright. You did your part, so I'll do mine. Look around up here if you want.
So where does he go? He finds his own way out. So actually he never needed to go that way. The only reason he wasn't going further on into the whatever is because he wanted to get back up this way to check on his girlfriend. So that's at least internally consistent. But yeah. I don't know. I'm not saying that like, oh, that means it sucks. I'm just saying like there's a lot you could have done with this actually that would have been really interesting, because the way I just described it playing out, no one's in the right, no one's in the wrong. They're both grey characters, but one of them is a largely blameless, if like rough around the edges. I'm not saying he's a nice guy, but he's just a dude. He didn't do anything wrong. He's trapped down here. He never asked for any trouble. And the Nightkin are murderous, psychopath drug addicts, but they've done personally right by you, and they don't appear to be, at all. So is this where I get that shipping invoice or something? Okay, I don't know if you read that as fast as I did, but essentially, yeah, there were stealth boys in this part of the factory, but then they were also misused for, it sounds like, lecherous means, and so they were sent back. Does this guy get mad at you if you say that, or does he, like, honour his deal? Because that would be another interesting thing if he turns on you if you come back with the false information. Or maybe you could say to him, hey, yeah, it's down there, and then, like, what, he goes off? I'm trying to find him, where is he? Is he down here? Yeah, he's down here. Oh, there he is.
What invoice notes that stealth for? What, Antler? What could be lying? Oh, Antler, to trust so easy. believe you. Nightkin will follow the new loot to find Stealth Boys.
I still don't quite know how stealth boys work. Like, they look like a large computery machine. Do you wear it on your head? What is that? Is that, like, what's the scale of that? Like, is that an item of clothing? Is that a platform you stand on? I don't know. Like, if I drop it, how do I drop? Q? E? I can't remember. Anyway. This room is just a room? Oh. Oh, that's going to be important later, I have no doubt. Or now, maybe. There's so much junk in these games. Yeah, okay, this is the thing later where they go to the rocket. Am I done? Do I need to go down there? Yeah, okay. So yeah, I don't know, like, this is a quest which actually strikes me as having a lot of potential depth to it, and I get there are time limits and everything on this. It's possible I could see this being, you know, taking the concept of this and sort of using it elsewhere. Like, if you ran like a, I don't know, just hypothetically a D&D campaign, taking that sort of layer of like, here are the bad guys, but they don't actively want to kill you because they're here for a practical reason. Here's a guy who isn't a bad guy, but he's stopping the bad guys achieving their largely victimless aims. In this particular instance, fighting the bad guys is costly and dangerous and ends in a lot of bloodshed. Letting them just get what they want and go on their way and harming no one surely is the best outcome. And the main obstacle in your way is the fact that there is one dude with a gun, and he's not a bad guy, he is blameless. So, you know. I'm guessing he's upstairs, but I thought I'd do a quick loop in case he's not, and I go, ugh, typical, he's gone wandering again. I don't know what to make of this. It makes it look like the whole ceiling is like paper thin. Yeah, this place is slightly too big, and it's just, there you are.
Is the way clear? Praise the Creator, and bless you, Wanderer. I hope you will come find us there, Wanderer.
I'm on your way, I'm sorry. That wasn't me, was it? I just want to get one of them what's the word I'm looking for? Them space costumes. Astro suits. Spacesuit. Why was that word so hard? Also, another completely, like, there would be no logical reason to do this, but just making it an option. The ability to tell the Nightkin, or rather, you're not doing this in tandem with the Nightkin. Like, you're not conspiring to murder the ghouls by their own admission. And what makes this mission so interesting, the Nightkin aren't looking to kill the ghouls. They're not interested in the ghouls. They just want them to stay out of the way. But so the Nightkin, you know, you're not gonna be like, hey Nightkin, let's get together and murder the ghouls. They'd be like, I don't want to do that, I don't care, I just want my bloody stealth boys. But if you told the ghouls that the way was clear, and they just trust you on that word, you could do a lot of things, because they would all rush down here, and Nightkin would be there, and they'd be like, "Rah!" and they'd hit them, and then you could basically lead the ghouls into a death trap, and it wouldn't even be like an ambush for profit. You would do that literally just to be a dick. It's just by virtue of having those various interconnecting factions and, you know, whatevers, you can make them play in that interesting way. I guess they're actually... I thought they were down here, but I guess they're not. I thought I knew where I was going. Silly me. Doesn't help that everything looks the same in this game. Oh, excuse me. Honest to God, I thought I knew where I was going, but it turns out I have gone completely the wrong way. And even in this case, even though there's lots to be said about the downside of having a compass in a game where you're supposed to find your own way, having a true direction compass is phenomenally unhelpful in this kind of environment. Because, you know, it's not telling you where to turn or anything like that. Just you gotta like vaguely make your way. Like as far as I know, I meant to turn like here and go here and all this stuff, which is true now, but like, you know, I could be going down into the wrong room. Oh, and I might even be doing that right now. I might not be going into the right room. Whoops. Oh, okay, no, I am going the right way. So where am I going? Wait, do I have the right mission? Oh. Yay! That's not annoying at all. Even though this was the latest mission I got. So where am I going? Was I right this whole time? I mean, to be fair, it would have been a lot easier to discern that if there had been any signs of activity from the ghouls. Yay, I was right. I wasn't misremembering. It's just that the ghouls all teleported there immediately, so I'm not seeing any kind of activity, so this place is as dead as it ever was, and I have literally no idea if I was supposed to be going down here because there were no cues beyond following the flashing bloody arrow, which isn't even that helpful in these contexts. So... in fact, once again, I think it's misled me. Like, truly, what the fuck does this game want from me? I'm gonna go up there, I guess. Oh, I thought there was a door there. No. I'm gonna look at the map. Now I'm getting pissed. Yeah. Yeah. So, it was telling me, go this direction, but I missed the fork. That is... it's not helpful. And people like to say, like, oh, back in Morrowind and in The Witcher, you get given directions, you know, turn left at the tree, and you have to follow those things. And I can see it there being downsides. I can see why the game world doesn't do that majoritively anymore. I mean, I'm personally all for it, but I get it. But this is not the solution, because at least with the tree thing, sure, players could be dumb, or the clue could be hard to understand, and they could get lost and confused and think they're going the right way, like what I'm doing now. But at the very least, there's some kind of marker of success. Like, oh, there's the tree, there's the rock, there's the river I was told about. Whereas this thing, it's like I'm following the arrow. That is a completely contextless thing. He didn't even say, please join me down at the XYZ room, and then there's like a big sign saying, go to the XYZ room, painted on the wall, like this is the main command hub. Yeah, so they're all down here, they all teleported down here and closed the door behind them. Fuck you.
I waited to speak with you one last time before I descended to the lawn. I want you to know that we will remember for all eternity how you delivered. Our preparations are nearly complete, but the rockets that... if you would still help us launch... there is no way that we can thank you enough, Wanderer. Your arrival here was a blessing. After all that you have done for us, when Chris came to us, we tried to convince him that he was human. But we decided to let him stay with us for a few days. It became clear that... equally clear was that Chris should labor in blessed ignorance of this. It is no coincidence that... it is my belief that the Creator sent you and Chris to expiate the sins...
Expiate is a good word.
The radiation around the launch pad alone would kill Chris in minutes. The
Reuse of the word in minutes. Lazy script writing.
I take no pleasure in hiding the truth. There is no way that we can thank you.
So, here's what I don't get. I love that guy just standing there like, yep.
Yes.
Here's what I don't get. If the only thing hanging, you know, holding you back was the Night King, so the second you learn the Night King are gone, you get dressed up like you're ready to take off within the hour, and then you say, "Oh yeah, we're still missing shit." It's like, well, then you're not ready. This is still, you know, you should come back later. I mean, I get what they did it for, like expediting the whatever.
Jason says that I am to cooperate with. I was close to complete. 2 components were missing. The igniting agent is highly radioactive and decays quickly. That's why we can't use the drums that it's no longer potent enough. I need. As for the thrust control modules, very well.
Bye.
Find atomic fuel for the rockets. Now. Ooh. Nice. Actually, no, that's really dumb. I'd like to pretend I could pull that off, but no, that's dumb. Anyway, but for the fact that this arrow is telling me where to go, he's just said I needed to find me some isotope. I'm not even sure if it's going to be in a barrel. And that's all I've got to go on. But my character's like, ah yes, despite having amnesia, I have a you know, a working memory of exactly where to find isotope 2468. Who do we appreciate? Nah, mate, nah. Thing is, you know what? You didn't even need to do that. This was a perfectly whole mission by itself. This last thing, I don't even particularly recall this part. If this is going to be boring, then I will turn around and say, why did we ever need to do this? Because when Jason said goodbye to me, it seemed like a perfectly good time to, you know, finish the whole thing. But now I've got to go do this extra step. And it's telling me where to go, but again, I'm only guessing. So I somehow knew that it wasn't in the building that makes rocket fuel. Somehow I knew it was elsewhere. Magically. Where do I think it is? In a random patch of desert that I've never been to. Of course. Of course that's where it would be. Why wouldn't it be there? Of course it would be there. I mean, if it was anywhere else, that'd be stupid, right? It's very clearly on the other side of Novak. In fact, you know what? It's where those golden bloody geckos are. I just recognise where it is on the map. Now, maybe Chris said something in that little speech of his that suggested where it was. I didn't pick up on it. But maybe I'm an idiot. Maybe this whole thing is just me being facetious. But there is no way, unless Chris did say something, that I would know that that was there. Is there a way to get to that thing? Anyway, I'll probably do that in another episode because I've been playing for a little while now. No, it's just a little visual. Anyway, I guess we'll leave it there.